I'm going over the pros and cons of living in Cleveland, Ohio, and stick around to the end because some of these are going to surprise you. I'm Paul Rixenis, your Cleveland real estate agent, and if it has anything to do with real estate in Greater Cleveland, you better call Paul because I got your back when it comes to anything to do with where to live, where to eat, and where to entertain in Northeast Ohio. Okay, we're going big on the first pro. This is massive. The number one pro for living in Cleveland, Ohio is the cost of living in Cleveland, Ohio. What does that term mean? That is a hot topic, that's a hot headline. You see affordability, you see cost of living. Why would Zillow choose Cleveland as the number 2 hottest market going into 2023? It's the affordability. On average, in Ohio, houses sell for $215,000, give or take. Nationally, the average home sale price is $380,000. That is a massive difference. That's a huge difference for the amount of property you can get, the amount of house you can get, and the amount of acreage you can get. The value of your dollar around Greater Cleveland goes significantly higher and further than the national average. Okay, another pro and benefit of living in Cleveland, Ohio is the outdoor activities. The sheer amount of variety and diversity in the outdoor activities is phenomenal. There's a freshwater Great Lake in Lake Erie. There is a ton of metro parks all around Greater Cleveland. There are wineries and breweries. There's skiing in the winter. There's all kinds of hiking and biking trails. Boating is huge, tons of kayaking and canoeing. There's tons of pockets around Greater Cleveland as well that add outdoor activities and culture. So just the sheer amount of variety there is such a huge plus and something that the people that live here really, really enjoy. Okay, another pro and big plus of living in Cleveland, Ohio is the 3 major sports teams. There are NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball teams, the Cavs, Browns, and Guardians, and that drives a ton of growth, drives business, it promotes development down in the downtown area, and it always pushes the envelope there with development on the lakefront and the riverfront, and housing as well. So big driver for economic growth, and then it's also super entertaining. There's to go to the games throughout the entire year, and then also for gift ideas, for date nights, for group and work gatherings. It really, really is a big factor to have 3 professional major league teams right downtown in the city. It kind of trickles throughout the entire Greater Cleveland area of the positive growth and entertainment. Okay, this is one of my favorites. Another big pro of living in Cleveland, Ohio is the traffic is minimal. Greater Cleveland, which consists of the 5 surrounding counties around it, is the 34th most populous metropolitan area and district in the United States. So quite a big population with the downtown area and the surrounding suburbs, but traffic is minimal. There's not a lot of traffic jams. The workflow traffic is pretty steady. You never really hear of like over hour long drives to work or anything, or that's something people do not complain about. So going to work or games in the downtown area or for events, it's not a problem. So for having a lot of the benefits of having great suburbs and also a budding metropolitan downtown area, it's still very easy to get to and from. You could be 30 miles outside of the city and still be able to get downtown in 30 to 40 minutes. That's just unheard of in some of the other major cities like Chicago and New York and Philly and stuff like that. So really big benefit, traffic is minimal. Okay, another pro of living in Cleveland, Ohio, and this is one of the best parts, is the deep-rooted culture that you get here. There's something to be said. It has this Midwestern, nice but gritty, very workman-like vibe, and then you just have the incredible melting pot of diversity that adds to this budding culture and this just never give up attitude. You know, the people that have lived in Cleveland for a long time or the surrounding suburbs have always kind of felt that we were the butt of jokes, right? That's just been changing over time with technology and the internet, and especially when the pandemic happened and kind of people really nestled in at home and figured out what was important to them, people started realizing more and more that, wow, there's already this amazing culture here, but then also there's so much more to do, like develop more of the lakefront and, preserve all the metro parks and, keep all the water clean, because fresh water is a big topic in today's world because of just the droughts out west, and just having the access to fresh water and an area that doesn't have a lot of natural disasters, it kind of allows the people to really hone in and keep building and developing. So this culture that it's like, you've seen it on t-shirts, Cleveland, you got to be tough. It's nothing is given, it's earned, and it's this Midwest nice and this grit that's just so incredible. It's hard to put into words. People that come are like, wow, this is really great, and the people that stay for a reason, and I can't wait for you to check it out. Okay, getting into some of the cons, I'm parlaying this off of what I mentioned about culture. It's some people still have that defensive mindset here, and that's being overcome. It's throughout the years, again, it just, people got jaded around here. It was always, it was easy to pick on Cleveland as something that just wasn't growing fast enough for people, I guess. So people got defensive around here, and there are some that still hold on to that. And luckily that is changing, and that's changing. I see it in my group of friends and the people that I see when I visit the downtown area, and then or just going around to different restaurants and places around Greater Cleveland. It has significantly changed for the better over the last 2 decades. Some of that defensive mentality is still lingering, but luckily that is dissipating and hopefully never returning again. Okay, another con of living in Cleveland would be that it is a legacy city. So because it is one of the legacy Rust Belt cities where in the past it was industrial and manufacturing heavy, that caused a lot of slow movement and growth and progression over the last 30 years. And then also, which a lot had to do with the politics as well. So with the legacy cities, you get kind of this slow embedded politics that's not really open to change. It's almost like holding the guard and making sure that the people in power stay there. Luckily, that's similar to the defensive mentality and mindset. That is getting better. So what's great too is there are people that are researching heavily and publishing articles and books about ways that legacy cities can improve and develop. And what's amazing is Cleveland is still in that stage of so much potential for growth. So even though it has the con of being kind of that old industrial legacy infrastructure, that is an incredible opportunity for the people that live here or move here, where they can be part of that change and that case study of how a legacy city can just end up progressing and thriving into the new century as we go along. Okay, another con of living in Cleveland, and I touched on it just a second ago, is the old school politics. So luckily there is new leadership in place in the city, and we're seeing massive changes and growth that is happening, and then they've proposed as well. So what's nice is, even though people complained for many years about the politics, we're seeing a lot of improvement on that end, which is great to see. Okay, and the final con of living in Cleveland would be the weather, most specifically the winter. So coupled with the winter, you get a significant amount of gray weather during those months too. So people that enjoy the outdoor activities during the winter could care less. However, there is a little bit of that cloudiness that does come with the weather. Now lately, the winters have been a little more milder. We've had a mild one this winter as well in 2023. But overall, that is one of the complaints is the winters, that they do kind of linger. And then there is some of that gray and gloominess that come with that as well. Now, I will say summer, and you could even say, late spring in Northeast Ohio is incredibly beautiful and nice. It is perfect. The weather's perfect. So yes, you do have to deal with a rough winter and a little bit of cloudiness, but man, during that summer, it is absolutely perfection. So I hope you enjoyed this video about the pros and cons. Hope it helped. Again, if it has anything to do with real estate, better call Paul. Call, text, or email. Numbers right here, emails down below. Can't wait to see you again.